Peace to the guys. Welcome back. I hope y'all can hear me. It's a couple cars going by. But I want to talk about polygamy. And y'all, I talk about polygamy because polygamy is so important. Polygamy is about bringing the melanated family back together. Polygamy is about the melanated man stepping back into his power, remembering who he is. And polygamy is about sisterhood and the melanated woman, about her healing through her sister. It's about sisterhood. It's about healing generational trauma, and polygamy is truly the generational wealth. So I want to talk about polygamy in regards to how, when I talk about it specifically, it is not about this is not to it's not to hype up the man's ego in no way, shape, or form. So polygamy is about divine order. True polygamy is rooted in patriarchal wisdom. True polygamy is about the matriarch. It's about community building and divine balance. Like, patriarchal and things have been colonized a lot. So when we think about polygamy and when we talk about polygamy, especially the melanated woman in this westernized culture, like in polygamy, a man has more roles. He has more roles in polygamy because it's more women. He has more responsibility. So this requires a higher responsibility from the man rather than control. So when it comes to the ego, it's really about, or boosting his ego, it's really about the man becoming a lot more wiser, a lot more responsible, because he's supposed to protect, provide, and spiritually elevate not just one woman, but multiple women now. It's a greater responsibility. Someone with a boosted or arrogant ego per se, they're not going to be able to spiritually handle multiple women. It's just not going to be able to happen because he's not going to be able to spiritually elevate these women. It's going to be way too much pressure or purpose for that man. And again, polygamy is not about control. So in that sacred dynamic, each woman has her own energy, her own purpose, and her own spiritual gifts. Someone with an inflated, arrogant ego, if you're just doing this to boost someone's ego, then that man, he wouldn't be able to handle that. He would want to possess and control that energy. But in divine polygamy, it's recognized that the women are pillars of the village. They are not property. And sisterhood comes first. Sisterhood comes first in polygamy. In sacred polygamy, the bond with the sisters, the sisterhood is more important, if not just as important, as the bond that she has with the man. The matriarchal bond, the bond between the women, is literally what keeps the polygamous dynamic together. It literally what keeps the kingdom standing, which it's not talked about enough. Sisterhood is the main thing. The matriarch, that bond is the main thing. It, like I said, if it's not more important, it's just equally as important as the relationship that you have with the man. Now, a man, again, if we're just doing this for the man's ego, then that would be a problem because he's not the center of attention. The sister bond is the center of attention. That's the mission, that's the focus. So again, it's not about the ego. It's about a lot of other things, and the man's ego and inflating his ego is not it. Polygamy is about restoring that legacy. It's really about restoring that legacy. And if the man is just in it for himself, it's just not going to work. If anybody's just in it for themselves, it's not going to work. Polygamy is not about the man's ego at all. Polygamy is about healing. It's about legacy, and it's about restoring that order between the divine masculine and the divine feminine. So that's it for this video. Peace to the gods. I love myself.